6 days ago, I put up a post called Debate and Inquiry and notice on the website and threw it into a Facebook group as well about if anyone wanted to have debate or inquiry. And I've done this a few times over the last few years to see if anything is out there, anyone wants to have anything. There's been a little bit of a response, not a ton. On this one specifically, I didn't have anything roll in, but I will read it. It's just a couple of paragraphs, just so people know the option is available, at least for the next couple of months while I'm in office. So, debate and inquiry. Life has an overwhelming amount of data. A lot of people reach out to me with their questions about the township, but I know there are many people that don't because other things in life are a higher priority, which makes sense. Over the next week, I'm going to accumulate any questions that people would like answered in videos, because if you have the question, then someone else out there probably does as well, and we might as well make the information accessible for all, contributing in a small way to us having a shared reference frame. There are also many opposing views from the almost 10,000 residents in the township. If anyone would like to have a debate or a discussion of anything, we can arrange to record that at the township as well. Obviously, it makes sense to have the township as the focus, as it will go on the township YouTube channel. But if you want to veer into anything at other political levels or on other subjects, then I'm open to that in the conversation as well, so be not afraid. Let me know of inquiries you would like answered or debates you would like to have. My direct line at the office is area code 231-332-6700 or email supervisor@daltontownship.org. Jeff Martin. Right? So that's the invitation 6 days ago. And it's really just checking to see if there's anything big I'm missing out there. And I know a bunch of debates and stuff happen online, and I don't really monitor exactly what's happening in the various Facebook groups and that type of thing. It's not a good place to have a conversation, and a lot of stuff on there is insincere. So, but it's just like, if anyone has a sincere inquiry, let me know. There's people that come to the meetings and they obviously make their comments and stuff there. A lot of people reach out to me individually just about whatever they want to know. So I think everything's apparently being handled in that way, since we don't have anyone that wants to do this type of interaction. But I know there's one kid that puts on some of the Facebook group when I put up the videos for the recordings, which are available on YouTube. Every now and then he's like, why aren't the comments on? And it's like, if he had the serious question, he would probably just ask me instead of throwing up a Facebook comment. He's obviously insincere in some way and attempting to like troll a little bit or get some sort of criticism in that way, which I'm fine with. Like, we can sit down at a table, we can turn on a video and have that debate on whether we should have those comments on and something like that. Since I brought it up, like, the reason I don't have those comments on YouTube is because it's not a specific inquiry into the township itself. And now, if we're going to do something like that, I have to make sure someone is consistently checking all of the YouTube videos to make sure we're not missing some sort of comment. What happens if someone throws in a FOIA request or something up there? It's not a legitimate way to contact the township. I want a spot to be able to put up videos answering questions like this, and I have in the past, and also the recording of meetings, right? That is, recording and posting of meetings ends up being the big thing, so that they're available for anyone that doesn't have the time and the opportunity to come to the meeting itself. And because if you just read through meeting minutes, not that I assume most people do that either, but if you just read through meeting minutes, it's hard to tell exactly what all the little comments are and things like that. So it's nice to just be able to watch the meeting anytime you want on your own time, look back at meetings to refer to things and stuff like that, right? So it's just an availability for that to be there. And then if someone wants to have some sort of debate or troll the township or something, like, go ahead, like, come on in. We'll shoot the video, we'll have the debate, we'll have the discussion. I attempt to have those. People don't seem to want to have them, which is fine, which is why a lot of those types of things are kind of insincere. And communicating online through comments and whatnot is not, humans aren't made for it well, which we can see very clearly with the invention of social media, the sharp decline in human mental health in the societies that use it a lot, right? It's very clear. And so, nevertheless, all right, the few comments we got in the one Facebook group were just that. So Laura had said it, I want to thank you and our other leaders for all the good things you've done to remake our township laws reasonable and fair. Now, Al Richards, which he is one of the few that came, the only one, I guess, that came and sat down and had some debates with me. he ended up deciding that we're too far apart on things for the debates to make sense. But he had responded like, as in a question, right, in the inquisitive tone. And I don't know, she didn't respond, and it's one of those things like, is he sincere? No. Right. But really, there was a focus over this period of time, the last few years, on trying to open things up and make it easier for like housing development. Obviously, we're going through a major housing thing, and governments love and politicians love to push like money towards those types of things. So, but the money is coming from somewhere, so they're redistributing it in some way, which is not ideal, but you can just back off on making it hard to make housing, right? And so everything from just making the process itself easier or attempting to approving accessory dwelling units, or we just recently changed a roof pitch issue for some lower income type of housing that seemed unnecessarily restrictive. And so the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Commission and the board have all been heading in that direction, which is great. Same thing with farming. We've just eased up the ordinances, right? Didn't scrap them, didn't throw them out, didn't have a huge turmoil over a massive change of society at too fast of a level. We just eased some things up so they're just more allowed, and makes it a little easier on people, get some chickens, have some eggs, whatever. Keep them in your yard, don't let them go roost on someone else's car or anything like that. But nevertheless, right, just have some stuff. So you got farming, like hobby farming and whatnot. You got the stuff with housing, and then you got business stuff, right? So everything from easing up some of the ridiculous regulations we had on like signs, where churches couldn't even redo their signs because they'd have to shrink them down to like nothing. So then they were looking dingy and old. And now we eased up and they're able to redo them, and we have some nice looking signs for businesses and churches and that type of thing. The business park, right, is a huge thing. We're going to see a lot of development there. So if projects go well over the next few years, we have $100 million of development in the pipeline for commercial stuff and residential stuff. Like, it's going to really grow, develop the township, and especially like Whitehall Road, that was supposed to be this corridor, but there was a huge financial disaster with the sewer. No one even realized the township was going to go broke in 2026. We sorted that out, right? So probably a bunch of stuff like that she's referring to. All right. Renee Knight was a trustee, right, which will become obvious in here, I guess. Jeffrey, I may not have voted for you the first time. It's an inside joke. But I am very thankful that the Lord did grant you the win in 2020. You have been a blessing to Dalton Township on many levels. You have made an impact in both Carrie and I's lives as we served alongside you as trustees until 2023. Thank you for always being kind, thoughtful, and even when we disagreed, you held to whatever decision you came to with much thought and research. We gained much respect for you and prayerfully a lifelong friendship based on that respect. I hope you can meet up with us October 12th as we make a quick trip to Michigan to get one last storage unit for our belongings to drive it back to Houston, Texas. Please don't be a stranger, but stay strange. You're an awesome guy and a blessing to call friend. All right, and so, and I mean, she mentions it in there. We had our disagreements on directions to go on various stuff, and worked on working them out, and continued to disagree where we needed to disagree. But just another compliment, which is nice. Compliments feel good. So, and then Al Richards made his own post too, not just that one reply. So, and this one is interesting. Like, I have to respond to this one, right? So, reality will be a rude awakening. Yes, I'm anti-Semite and fully convinced of it. I'll let Brother Nathaniel explain it to you. He was raised Jewish. He ought to know. Let this reality sting, but your brainwashed condition forces you to reject the truth outright. And here's a link to a video. So, which is wild, right? So Al has some real wild ideas, real wild theories. But I will clearly state, I guess, since he's taken the anti-Semitic case, that I'm not anti-Semitic, and so as long as I have some power in the township, hold a position of authority, the township will not take an anti-Semitic position either. We also won't send funds to foreign countries to support the wars, but we also won't be anti-Semitic, and I quite like a lot of the stuff that came out of like from Viktor Frankl, surviving the concentration camps and things like that. Logotherapy, very good and important, I think. So interesting that you have to address some of those things. But nevertheless, so the invitation remains open. Anyone that may want to have a debate or inquiry, and just based, I like to do that every now and then because it's easy to get off, to not know if there's a bunch of stuff hanging out there that people legitimately want answered or sincerely want to have some sort of discussion on. So, but it seems pretty clear that with no direct inquiries, just a few Facebook comments, that in general, if people want to know something, they call, right? I put up my phone number, they email me, they come to a meeting and make a comment if they want to, like legitimately troll in that way, I guess. And so seems like people are getting the information they want and they need. And then Facebook is obviously a Facebook comment, discussion, debate, argument, things. All those are almost too complimentary on exactly what happens on there, but nevertheless, that ends up being like a hobby for some people, essentially. So, which is fair enough, right? It's useful in some way. I still think, debate and inquiry and talking and discussion is useful. It's just there's better and worse ways to do it. And a lot of that comes down to sincerity, I think. I think a huge amount of it comes down to sincerity. So that's why I offer this type of thing. If anyone has anything else, feel free to reach out. Obviously, I already stated, direct line at the office, area code 231-332-6700, or email supervisor@daltontownship.org. Otherwise, this is Jeff Martin, signing off. Until next time.